Radomír arrived from Czech Republic, from Brno. His company, Wandera, he will explain it to us. So, Radek, please tell us some words about Wandera.
Wandera is a software development company. We are based in London, Brno, and San Francisco. We are on the market for like 7 years. We have 230 people. We build and sell products as a service, mainly to secure mobile devices or laptops that you are normally using for connecting to the corporate networks. And I will be talking about the Brno branch. We are developing and operating the software from Brno. I joined Wandera 3 years ago. The Brno branch was about 30 people, and they forecasted like rapid growth of the whole company. So when I joined Wandera, I first of all like got in touch with the team, with everyone, because it was like 30 people. It was a small community. And my first learnings was that the team is really like great technically, with great culture, working together, cooperating, but they were really not ready for like the steep growth. When I projected us growing rapidly, I discovered that we possibly have to invest into a great set of leadership skills for the key people in the organization. What we did, we prepared a training program with a company called Quad Group. The training program was designed for the key people, and it was consisting of like the typical things like people typology, situation leadership, negotiations, and so on. I wanted to use this as a vehicle for me to learn more about the people in the organization, the leads, and to form the team out of the key leaders. So we not only consume those trainings, but we also use that time for like discussing topics that concerned us, discussing the future things that we need to prepare, discussing our problems at work, because you know, normally when you're in daily job, you hardly find time for like a meeting and then talking about such topics. So we use this for gluing the team together. How we measure that and when we measure that? We measure that using social mapping. Some of you may know it. For some of you, it might be a very new tool. It measures the communication that is in the team right now, the communication that people would love to have in the team, how the communication is important for them, and finally the efficiency of the communication. It is done by filling a short questionnaire. So everybody in the team fills in a short questionnaire, and then magic happens, and the model actually shows you something what you can see on the right hand side, which is the social map. And you see that the individual members are those dots on the map, and you can see that the people are either close to each other or very distant, which means that in the, let's say, current communication means that they are either talking quite a lot together very often, or people like the Scrum Master is very far from anybody in the team, which is possibly not right. So it gives you an insight into how the team communicates. You always have to interpret this in the context of the team, because you know what good possibly should look like.
So it means that you are working in agile teams, as I know, because it's pretty normal in tech companies like yours. And there is a product owner in every team, a team lead, and the Scrum Master. And it shows that the Scrum Master is pretty much isolated from the team. Not only isolated, but also average frequency of communication is pretty low. So it means that he's far from that team he or she should support. So it shows a critical issue, just like that the team lead average communication is pretty low again, which means that he's not an informal hub or a formal and informal hub of the team. Is it right?
Yeah, that's correct, and this is one of the extreme cases that we saw. The other cases were like more positive, but it actually shows what you just described. Mm-hmm. It tells you that you should really focus on these key problems. Where we actually use that and what it gave to us, it gives you an insight into the team. Sometimes you just see the map and say, well, I knew that, right? But sometimes you see those aha moments. We had a suspicion that something is not right, but here you can actually visualize that. You can see that people were actually looking at this map together with the team lead and were trying to interpret it and discover those problematic areas and set some improvements based on the social map. We use that for like shaping the whole team to a better team. The social mapping was done at the beginning of the project and at the end of the project. And we were also comparing the two maps for each team and discussed those like improvements or shifts, because the program took a year. So you can also like spot various changes in the team and so on. Very useful tool for measuring internal communication. What this program gave to us was like team leads that were like very engaged, in my view, ready to sustain the growth. I saw that the team leads cooperation really improved. They became team working together. There were also some natural coaching pairs. So guys were helping each other with problems, and they started coaching each other, which was another outcome that I hoped for, because you really don't want to manage everybody individually. You want the team to help themselves and to share the experience. We improved the culture of open communication. We embedded this more into the whole team, achieved very low attrition in the teams, and percentage-wise, it might be around like 4%.
So you use team social mapping to assess the current situation, to find root causes, to define actions, and improve skills as well, leadership skills or team skills. And if you don't know, Qued is who created this tool, the team social mapping, and Qued is our partner, and Develor is using the team social mapping as well in different type of projects. How the pandemic impacted you actually?
I described our culture as like highly collaborative, and the high collaboration in our view was like being together in the office. In March 2020, we just switched to remote work. So that was a clash in the culture, and we had to do some countermeasures to actually sustain that. We set some basic rules in day one, so people understood how we really should behave in the remote work. We really did it like that from day to day. It was nothing planned ahead. We used a lot of like reflection, improvements, informing others. So every day we shared the good practices, learnings from each team. And it was the group of the leaders that was sharing that. We want to work together on a single product as a branch. So we really had to concentrate on keeping the culture of the branch together, not ending up in like siloed teams. So what we did, and we actually kept the good habits, and we tried to move them into online world. We used to have Tuesdays breakfasts every Tuesday. We turned that into like breakfast that you can have at home, of course, but we turned that into 15 minutes of talking about the news in the company, things that are happening around us, some little competition about what people enjoy during weekend and so on. The whole purpose was to bring everybody together for half an hour, at least once a week. What really worked for us, there are some other tips and tricks. Definitely in the leadership group, we involved the guys in the decision making about like regime in the office and how the new normal will look like and so on. And we were sharing the best practices among the group. Mm-hmm. What worked very well in some teams was an ongoing Zoom or ongoing Google Meet, which is something that we initially considered like very crazy. But some teams said, well, we want to give it a try. And they did, and they realized that whenever they have an ongoing Zoom, they can actually pop up on the Zoom, ask questions as the people were next to you.
This I feel very interesting. So ongoing Zoom, and everyone is sitting with a Zoom next to him, just switched off cameras and mics. It's interesting.
For the whole branch, we tried to use every opportunity where we can actually get together. We run a number of surveys focused on how they want to work in the future and so on. It's interesting to monitor how people think about remote work. First 3 months, they suffered. Then they realized, well, it gives me some advantages as well. So they said, well, maybe this is sustainable for long term. But nowadays, when we did the survey again, then it's obvious that it's taking way too long, and they really incline more to go back to the office again, meet people, but have some flexibility that maybe we are in the office for 3 days a week, and the other 2 days we work from home.
Very good, very interesting. Thank you for sharing such details, Radek. Thank you for coming.